Well, in my effort to bring you a video each and every day, today being Friday, the 11th of June 2021, and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you, and welcome to the Talk Crypto podcast. My name is Roger Ferguson, and in today's show, I'm going to make the case or even give you 3 reasons why I think India is going to do incredibly well once there is more adoption of cryptocurrencies. You see, there has been a certain amount of, to use the acronym FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that has clouded the minds of the Indian investor. Because if we go back in time, I think in the year 2018, there was a certain High Court case that to some degree banned cryptocurrencies in India. Now, remember what I said. We go back in the past, 2018. We're in 2021 now, and in the crypto space, 3 years is like 3 decades. All right, stick with me, and hopefully together we'll discover why and how important, in my opinion, India is to the entire global cryptocurrency space. So we're going to start off with this particular article, and it's by Bloomberg. I looked at several other articles, and I figured that perhaps Bloomberg, to some degree, is most credible and perhaps most people, identify with. So let's just have a little read here. It reads, cryptocurrencies. Investors cheer after RBI clarifies crypto trading isn't banned. And as we scroll down, it reads, the Reserve Bank of India's decision to remove a 2018 rule that forbid banks from facilitating cryptocurrency trades comes as a welcome relief for a community facing pushback from traditional lenders needing to help settle these deals. So you remember earlier I said this happened in 2018. There was, a ban. Well, it seems that that isn't the case anymore. So the regulator late on Monday told banks not to cite a 2018 central bank circular as a reason to hinder crypto trades. The 2018 note had forbid banks from facilitating such transaction, but has since been struck down by the Supreme Court. Banks must continue with other routine due diligence measures on the deals, the RBI said. So Bloomberg is citing the RBI. I hear you asking, who's the RBI or who is the RBI? Let's just find out. I know who the RBI is. And the reason I do is because, one, I was originally born in India. I'm of Anglo-Indian origin. I currently live in London in the United Kingdom, but I originally come from India. So yes, as a boy, when I was growing up in India, albeit I was relatively young when I left, I was 14, but on our banknotes, like you have in the US, I'm not entirely sure. In the US dollar bill, does it say, central bank? I know in the UK it says, Bank of England. And so to make the point, or the reason I knew who, or rather I know who RBI is because in the paper notes, in the fiat currency, the RBI emblem logo, and it was written on it. Be quiet, Roger. Let's move on. Okay, good. So here is the Reserve Bank of India. So the RBI, as you can see, is India's central bank. And now, I showed you earlier how Bloomberg made reference to the RBI, but that's not enough for me. I like to go to the source. And so in my digging, here's what I found. As we scroll down, we look at May 31st, 2021, customer due diligence for transactions in virtual currency. So if you click on that, I've already done that, it opens this page. And it's a PDF, it's a PDF file, and it reads Reserve Bank of India, And I guess this is a notice to all commercial and cooperative banks, payment banks, small finance banks, NBFCs, and payment system providers. And it reads, and I quote, "Madam, dear sir, customer due diligence for transactions in virtual currencies." And it reads further, and I quote, "It has come to our attention through media reports that certain banks' regulated entities have cautioned their customers against dealing in virtual currencies by making a reference to the RBI Circular, and it's essentially they're citing a case that went on, like I alluded to earlier, in the year 2018. It further reads, and I quote, "Such references to the above circular by banks' regulated entities are not in order, as the circular was set aside by the Honorable Supreme Court on March 4th, 2020 in the matter of writ petition," and it goes on to cite a case, which was the Internet and Mobile Association of India versus the Reserve Bank of India. It further reads, and I quote, "As such, in view of the order of the Honorable Supreme Court, the circular is no longer valid from the date of the Supreme Court judgment, and therefore," here comes the most important part, and I quote, "therefore cannot be cited or quoted from." It reads further, "Banks, as well as other entities addressed above, may, however, continue to carry out customer due diligence processes in line with regulations governing standards for KYC and AML, combating of financing terrorism, and obligations of regulated entities under Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. In addition to ensuring compliance with relevant provisions under Foreign Exchange Management Act FEMA for overseas remittances." And it's signed yours faithfully, the Chief General Manager, Sri Mohan Yadav. Okay, great. So now, just to bring the point back home, we know that India went through demonetization. If my memory serves me, this happened in 2016. We know that cryptocurrencies were banned in 2018. However, this report or this communication from the Reserve Bank of India dated the 31st of March 2021 puts to bed that piece of FUD that India, has banned cryptocurrencies. Okay, fabulous. So now we know, with the concrete evidence that's been presented, that India is no longer under any ban, right, with regard to cryptocurrencies. And further, in actuality, exchanges are looking to set up, or rather have already set up, because I've spoken with my brother-in-law who lives in New Delhi. And maybe one day I'll bring him on the show and you can actually get a feel of what's happening on the ground in India with regard to cryptocurrencies. Remember, this is a Talk Crypto podcast, so we talk all things in relation to crypto, right? So to get back to my point, I almost lost my train of thought. Exchanges have already established themselves. In having spoken with my brother-in-law, he's confirmed that obviously Kraken is there because he's a customer of Kraken, right? Let me rephrase that. I'm going to rewind that tape. Binance is already there. So just to make a correction to my earlier statement, Binance, I said Kraken, I correct myself. Binance is already in India and he is a customer of Binance. However, Kraken is looking to position itself in India. I think Coinbase is available. I did a search myself. In fact, I was helping my brother-in-law to open a Kraken account, and I believe he was able to do that. So what does that tell me? That tells me, right, he went through the KYC and he went through the AML, and his account was successfully opened. So I think it's safe to say, although perhaps not announced, that Kraken is in India. We know Binance is definitely in India. Let me tell you one more. Coinbase is in India. I asked him when I last spoke with him about a week ago, I told him, open a Coinbase account. And he said, all right, I will. And so I said to him, I'm going to check back with you again. And so when I check back with him again, I'll bring you up to speed and let you know what exactly happened with his experiences in opening an account with Coinbase. So just to solidify the point, I can already confirm with you that Kraken is in India and Binance is in India. There is one other relatively big exchange in India that was acquired or even bought by Binance. I don't want to quote that. You could do your own research. If that's what you'd like to do, that is, you'll come to understand who that exchange is. I'm not going to talk about it too much, simply because if I don't know too much about something, I generally don't talk about it. Okay, great. Quick final few points. This is from, let's just scroll up, and I don't want to go too far up. It's basically the World Factbook from CIA.gov, right? And so if we look at this website, and I'm particularly obviously looking at India, we can see that the mobile phones that are currently in use in India is almost 1.1 billion with a B. 1.1 billion mobile phone users, right? So that's good news, right? People that will obviously transact in time to come have access to it from their mobile phones. 1.1 billion. That's a significant number, isn't it? That's almost what? 3 times as many users of the USA, that has a population, if I'm not mistaken, that exceeds 350 million. And by extension, India have 1.1 billion, cell phone users, mobile phone users. All right, wonderful. Just finalize a couple more points. The internet users in India equate to 446. Let me get this right. Million. Yeah, 446 million. Fantastic. I wanted to share with you in closing remarks the amount of people that speak English in India. And this is courtesy of Statista.com. As you can see in the blue, 87.6% are English speakers in urban areas, and 96.6% are English speakers in rural areas. So in my earlier statement, I said I'm going to give you 3 reasons. Here's my 3 reasons. India has got obviously some form of clarity whereby there's no ban on cryptocurrencies. This essentially means that the purchase of cryptocurrency is ongoing. Reason number 1. Reason number 2, India has a very young and dynamic younger population. I don't have the stats. I looked at it earlier. But if my memory serves me correctly, they have perhaps more than 55 or 60% of 1.2 billion population people, right, that are under 30. Just think about that for one moment, right? 55 to 60% of a population under 30 and a total population count of 1.2 billion. That's pretty huge, right? Now, that's number 2. Number 3, and some of you may disagree, and in any points I make, it's fine. Opinions are just that. It's just opinion. So my opinion may differ to that of yours, and I welcome a difference in opinion, because that what helps facilitate growth, right? If we all think the same way, we're in this massive echo chamber, and we all keep citing the same things, right? And therefore, it hinders growth. Point number 3, and I'm going to wrap this video up, I promise. Thank you for staying with me. Now, India as a whole to them, gold, right, is it's like, how can I put it? Let me just try to find an analogy. Okay, so in the Western world, or generally as a whole, property is like, like if you own property, that's it, you're done, And we all kind of, or rather the West, all moves towards the preferred investment vehicle, right, is real estate or property. Conversely, in India, it's gold. I think, given the earlier point I made, whereby the population of India, the under 30s, right, that's a young population. And so, yes, naturally they will inherit this gold. But the young people think differently to the baby boomers, right? So I'm not discounting gold. I understand its importance. It's been around for 5,000 years. But what I'm saying is, what if, reason number 3 and final point, these under 30s, right, look at these massive amounts of gold that the family has, and let's just say they decide to liquidate some of it, right? Not all of it, some of it. And, just to, in the interest, and I have air quotes up here, you can't see them, but in the interest of diversification, they just take 10%, right? 10% of the gold holding that the family has inherited, and they convert it to a different investment vehicle, right? And let's just say, for the purpose of this, it's a Talk Crypto podcast, it's crypto. So they take 10% of their gold holdings and they convert it to cryptocurrencies. Can you begin to see, what kind of growth that would facilitate, right? From a country that exceeds 1.2 billion, predominant English speakers, a young population of under 30, with the vast majority of wealth held in gold, and the gold may potentially be a certain percentage, let's just say for the purpose of this, 10% is converted into, liquidated into cash and fiat is used to purchase cryptos. I hope you're beginning to see how collectively, right, not just individually, because that's where, if we use Sinola, safety in numbers and the law of averages, it's in numbers that, something grows. This entire crypto space just doesn't need one actor or one participant. It requires the vast majority, right, in order to effectively facilitate change. That's what it takes. There are obviously cultural issues and so on and so forth, which I'm happy to discuss in later podcasts. Let me wrap it up there. You have been so kind with your time. I'm so grateful that you've managed to join me on this Talk Crypto podcast. This is, my dear friends, perhaps for this particular week 11th of June 2021, being a Friday. I think this is the last video. The next one I'm going to bring you on Monday. I'm going to spend some quality time with the family as we approach the weekend. Whatever it is you're doing this particular weekend, I sincerely hope you have a great time. Remember, it's not how long we live, but how we live. Make each day count, my dear friends. I love you all. Until the next time, yours truly, Roger Ferguson, wishing each and every one of you a fantastic weekend. Till Monday, have fun, guys. Bye-bye.